Joan Burton TD to respond to the debate.
Delegates, the woeful state of the public finances is a clear and present danger for our country. Yes, it is the legacy of a reckless government. Yes, it is not the first time that Fianna Fáil has left such a legacy. And yes, it is increased by the cost of the bank crisis. None of that can take away from the blunt reality that this cost of the financial crisis will weigh down on every budget for the next decade, no matter who is Minister for Finance. But socialist governments have faced financial crises before and still managed to secure great social and economic progress. Labour, after the 1945 World War, their Prime Minister Attlee did it when he brought in the national health system at a time when the country was bankrupted by the war, that country. Barack Obama is determined not to waste the opportunity of a good crisis to implement his own healthcare programme and hopefully put manners on Wall Street. These examples should be our inspiration that we too will keep our eye, as the Labour Party, on the prize of great social and economic changes, even at a time of huge financial challenge. Every month I have to examine the Exchequer returns, and I can tell you, delegates, they don't make for inspiring reading. The jury is still out on the question of when the recession will end here. But I do know that this government has stripped the cupboard bare and that everything it has done to turn the situation round has actually made a bad situation worse. The December budget ostensibly aimed to cut the deficit by $4 billion. In fact, we are left this year, despite all of the painful measures, with no improvement as yet in the deficit percentage. In fact, the likely outcome is worse than last year, less revenue raised, more jobs lost, and therefore higher spending on dole payments. Can we break away from this debt spiral? Yes, we can, and yes, we must. We can't impose a crushing burden of debt service costs on our people by an ever-increasing recourse to more and more borrowing. Neither can we solve the situation by deflating the economy, ruining business, closing shops, closing industries, services, and creating ever longer dole queues. There is one basic truth. We are all in this together. Now that has to mean something tangible. It has already meant a lot to those, as we've heard, who have endured pay cuts, child benefit cuts, lost their Christmas bonus, faced increased taxes and levies on their income. I'm less convinced that it has meant very much at all to those who insist on the right to be tax exiles at a time when their country and our country is facing so great a crisis. As your finance spokesperson, I've spent a lot of time exposing the convoluted measures used by wealthy individuals to reduce their taxes. Ansbacher man has gone into retirement, but his sons and daughters are alive and well, and they've inherited the same mindset. When things get tough, the tough pack up and run. Bertie Ahern let the cat out of the bag last year when he feted his good friend, Mr Fitzpatrick of Anglo-Irish fame, when he said, "I'm sure Shawnee has a little bit stashed away," said Professor Bertie. And I'm sure he has, and so have many like him. Millionaires they may have been, even billionaires, but Fianna Fáil in government faithfully served their interests and tweaked the tax codes in 1,000 ways to meet their requirements. Do these people have to jump together with the rest of us? If we are to jump together, then tax reform and tax justice has to be part of the equation. I am not a supporter of high marginal tax rates. I never have been. But low tax rates have to go side by side with the principle that everybody pays their share. There are people in this country who talk of low tax rates when they really mean no taxes. The wealthiest sector in Ireland, who own a totally disproportionate share of our nation's wealth, can and must stump up a sizable share to meet the same obligations that the rest of us have to face, and do so willingly to secure our critical services. In conclusion, I repeat the two unifying themes that were so successful in the Northern peace process. Nothing is agreed until everything is agreed, and we all jump together. It's a sound strategy, and it promotes national unity at a time of national emergency. Thank you, delegates, and I commend the resolutions.